everybody, and welcome back to another fascinating and amazing episode of Fast Charging with BnB. I'm your host, Brian.
I'm Bear.
Yay! We've got two of the best hosts in all of EVdom, all in one place. What are we doing? I believe we are simulcasting live on two different channels, My Tesla Weekend and Bear's Workshop.
Right here, Bear's Workshop. How you doing this week, Brian?
I'm doing awfully good, awfully good. My little dog's a bit sick, and I'm desperately concerned about that, but I can't fix that because I'm not God.
Oh, well, you could try a vet. I mean, like halfway.
We actually tried a vet, but there were 0 vets open yesterday because of the snow. We are iced in.
Oh,
so
ice. I'm not following you on that one. I don't understand anything about ice. You were internal combustion engine in? I don't get that.
That's right. Yep. That's exactly what I meant.
Okay.
So everybody in the chats, would you be so kind as to let us know that you can hears us? Oh, Rashetsky's in here on your side. That's
yes, he
good.
is. Hey, Brian, how you doing? And Mr. Fox asking, did we get enough money yet to do a Lucid trip? We got 10 Patreons, but we got them after we put out that tweet about we needed it before 10 a.m. Pacific time, and we didn't get 10 until about noon, so we did not go. But we have something we want to talk about with that in a little bit. We're going to get some sort of game plan going for you guys so that we can make it out there more often. And Brian,
got to get going on that.
Brian says we sound good.
Yeah, and I've got a note from Paul Crowder saying it looks and sounds good on his end. Wendelin's here. Who is this? A lot of the regulars. Who is this? Paul Crowdis, MD Hofsty, Wendelin. Hello, everyone. Hello. Shall we just get into it?
Well, let me say hello to Old Man. Abdul Mahid and iMelt is also, and I think JJ's probably still there. He's been in the chat for about an hour and a half, so unless he fell asleep.
Kirk said hello to both of us. Hello, Kirk. It is so good to see you.
Hello, Kirk. Or
hear from you.
See his messages.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we get right into it?
We should. Now, I should mention I'm having a little bit of lag on my end, not from you, but my upload speeds. I apologize if it's a little choppy. Not sure what's going on. Maybe it's the weather.
Yeah, it's usually mine that's having the problems, but hopefully everything runs smoothly over there.
Yeah. Hyundai Motor Group shuts down Engine Development Center. Now, this doesn't mean an automatic end to their ICE era, but it's a big step.
It's pretty close. It seems like they took 12,000 R&D personnel from their ICE development from the regular engines and moved them over to electric. I'm not sure how well of a transition that goes, and I don't know if those 12,000 includes people who are making transmissions and emissions equipment and things like that. I don't know how all that ties in, but there's a lot less to develop when you don't even have a transmission and you don't have the guys that are designing the exhaust systems and the emissions and everything else that goes along with it. I mean, we don't need catalytic converters anymore. That guy's fired. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. What's he going to do?
I don't think it is. I think an engineer's an engineer. And, if they were to be reassigned to an aerospace division, I think they would be able to bring skills. There might be a learning curve, but it's a start.
Yeah.
And further on that point, Audi's main plant to only make electric cars from 2028. Now, that's a ways out, but again, the transition takes a few minutes to get there.
Yeah, it does. I thought this one was also pretty interesting. They've actually given a deadline that's earlier than most other ICE vehicle manufacturers. So that's nice to see. Moving that up.
Yeah.
I don't know how many cars where Audi falls in line as far as production goes, as far as how big of a company are they really, but they're owned by Volkswagen, right?
Yes, they are.
So their count is probably included in Volkswagen.
For sure. I did see another story that said Volkswagen to stop producing gas and diesel engines by 2026. So that would be good.
Oh, yeah.
And for that matter, I know Toyota said the end of their deadline was coming up. Does anybody remember when? Oh, by 2040. Great. 2040.
Yeah, I won't be around to fact check them more than likely, but we'll see.
You could meet someone special, get married, have a child, and that child could grow up and buy a internal combustion Toyota.
That's true. I'm not having any more babies though.
No, but you did tweet about it.
I did, and apparently that went the wrong way. For those of you on Twitter and are following me, I put out a tweet the other day that the wife and I are having a baby. It's due in March, and then I had a picture of a Model 3 order picture, which we ordered another Model 3. And I think a lot of the people responding with the congratulations were starting to think that I was having another baby. I am not having another baby. So, but we are having another Model 3. White on white with the upgraded rims. It's due in March, and we haven't decided on a name yet. So if anybody has any name suggestions, hey, let us know, because you got to name your Tesla. It's a requirement. So we're looking for names.
I just want to look at some of the comments here. We've got Paul saying they may be seeing the light. Mark saying you can destroy a market faster than you think. And he references Tony Seba, who is, as far as I'm concerned, oh man, it's lagging on my end. He's referencing Tony Seba, who is, as far as I can tell, a time traveler.
Yeah.
Tony says no new ICE vehicles after 2025, which is possible if a bit unlikely.
Yeah, unlikely.
Darn it.
I don't think
struggling.
I don't think Tesla's going to make any after 2025. That's what I heard, and I will bet money on that.
That seems like a fairly reasonable guess.
You want to take the bet?
That Tesla will not be making ICE vehicles after 2025?
Yes.
I won't bet against you on that one.
Fact check true.
Reasonable. So what is the biggest obstacle to all these companies making EVs?
Are you asking me that?
I'm asking you.
Oh, they don't want to put the money into it. They're trying to put it off as long as possible. Conspiracy theory could say that the oil people are behind that also. The people in advertisement are a part of that, because these EV companies are not advertising. So there's going to be a big financial loss on that.
The legacy guys absolutely advertise. Well, there is still the chip shortage. But in the article that you suggested for this week, Motor Trend saying, they should be out of it in a year or two.
Yeah, one of the key takeaways from this, and this can go back to what we were just talking about with the chip shortage possibly keeping ICE vehicle makers making ICE vehicles, is that there's less chips in ICE vehicles, and they're also much simpler chips, and those simpler chips are also cheaper. But that also becomes a problem, because all the new foundries that are coming online in order to make these chips don't want to invest in these cheap, easy to make chips that don't sell for a lot. A lot of these are legacy chips that have been around for years and years and years. And the electric cars now coming out are going to have the newest and the latest. They're not going to, well, in theory, you'd think that they're not going to be using something from 2001. So they're developing new chips for the new electric cars. But the ICE vehicle makers, they want to stick with what they got, which is cheaper. They think it's going to be cheaper. But we all know what's better for the consumer is going to be an electric vehicle.
So I do want to give a quick apology. I am absolutely having YouTube connectivity issues. I'm still connected just fine to Bear here. So I don't know what that's about, and I do apologize. I would add that a lot of those low-cost budget chips that are so common in ICE vehicles were simply discontinued, or they're just not taking priority because they are low-cost, low-margin commodity chips, and you can't force companies to make them. Certainly not at the prices you're familiar with getting. So I don't know, man. I think the chip shortage is absolutely temporary. But as we shift to EVs, I see the biggest obstacle being batteries, regardless of who the manufacturer is.
I think they're going to figure out the batteries. I think once you get more and more plants online, Hey, nice segue.
Hey, 13 battery gigafactories coming to the US by 2025. This list is incomplete. We know because it doesn't mention Giga Texas, which will have the only gigafactory. Gigafactory's a Tesla term. What are you guys doing?
Completely stole it.
Gosh.
That's clickbait.
And by the way, this picture is out of date. The solar panels now extend all the way up to the base of the L. So the entire shaft is covered in solar panels. And I'll be honest, the black makes it look bigger. There are 13 new gigafactories coming online, according to the Department of Energy.
I thought black was supposed to be thinning.
So looking at the list, it's pretty exciting. Ford with SK, GM with LG times 4. 2 more from SK, Stellantis and LG, Stellantis and Samsung, Toyota, and VW. And that's just in the US. The list in Europe is longer. And yeah, it does not mention the factory in Austin, which is expected to be massive with a capacity of over 100 gigawatt hours, which would be more than double the current output of Giga Nevada. This is critical to broader electrification. You can't make an EV without batteries.
Is that still your connection or is that mine?
It's got to be mine.
Because you hear it on your side?
Well, no, but I'm seeing YouTube is having a real hard time staying connected.
Oh.
Man, I certainly apologize.
Maybe it's that ice storm.
I apologize to all of you who keep seeing me cut out. I rebooted my router and everything. I apologize.
Yeah, someone recommended in the comments that you should apply for Starlink. I think that might be a good idea. JKM said that. You need Starlink. So
JKM said that?
Yeah, you need Starlink. I think that might work out a little bit better for you. I think that gets you past the ice storm that you had.
I have Starlink. I am using Starlink as we speak.
Oh, uh-oh.
I did speed tests in advance. Did you not know I was on Starlink?
I guess I did not.
Oh yeah, no. That's why generally I have such good speeds. Well, we still have Comcast in the house, and it is very slow. It's a long story. JJ saying I need to pay my internet bill. I'm just connected now.
Did you reach your limit and they're nerfing you?
No. Oh, and I'm back, for crying out loud. So again, I apologize, guys. You've got to know that if this is sucking too much, you can always pop over to Bear's Workshop to see the exact same show. From looking at the comment,
yeah,
they already are doing both.
Okay,
and Larry Gordon's throat. Shit. Well, this is very frustrating. Well, I guess this is going to be a Bear's Workshop kind of week. That's one of the reasons we do it on both channels.
Yeah, we got a backup plan. And we got a backup plan to this backup plan, in case you guys are wondering. You know what it is?
No.
We'll discuss it. We'll discuss it later.
JKM saying, haha, Starlink is trash. No, it's actually very good.
It could be something else. It could be your router. It could be something else.
Well, it's probably more that I just need to reboot the whole computer, but because we're staying connected pretty well. So anyway, batteries. I think we've said enough about that, unless we want to.
No, I think we're good. I think maybe we'll get into some numbers of what might possibly be happening in the future. Lucid Motor. This is an older article, but I wanted to bring it up because we do the Lucid flyovers. This was on October 7th. Lucid Motors on track for 2023 projection or production targets. They're also, in my opinion, they're on track to reach their production targets for this year, 2021. Just brought up this silly webpage just because. Got to have something in the background. So we go out there twice a week, Wednesdays and Fridays, and we've been seeing a lot of vehicles. We've been seeing a lot of vehicles brought in. It looks like they're probably making maybe 13 or 14 a day. They really haven't ramped up production yet, but they had a production goal of 520 of the Dream Air editions and then a total of 577 Lucid Airs, though I don't know what the other models are going to be, what the other 57 are going to be. But from what we've seen, it really looks like they're going to surpass that target. And it's pretty exciting for all the Lucid fans that we have on here. There's workshop to see that. So now we're getting to see all the cars actually getting produced, as well as the construction and the progress on that for the Project Gravity. So,
well, and their ramp looks awfully good. It looks very solid to me. I would not have expected it to go faster than what we've seen. So I think anyone who's critical of that has unrealistic expectations. And they're moving units, man.
They are. And it is also more than I expected, and that's why I think that they've got a good chance of exceeding their production goals. And if they exceed it, it's because they wanted to, and it's not because they couldn't. So,
yeah.
Anyway, do you have some numbers you want to talk about?
Well, I did want to, for those of you who are less familiar with my channel, I did want to cover real quick my production estimate for Q4 for Tesla, 288,708, with a slight increase here in the Model S and X, and then Fremont doing just almost as good as Q2, plus with the holidays backed out, and the Shanghai number looking very big and juicy, but it's not as insane as it might sound because we know what the October and November numbers are. 288,708. I was kind of an outlier when I first put these numbers out, and now it's now the herd seems to be kind of migrating towards my numbers, which is, I don't know, maybe they watch my methodology and find it validating. Wall Street still says 265, which is ridiculous. So this is all plugged into my new and improved 11-year production estimate spreadsheet, which is...
Tell me about it. What are you doing with an 11-year projection?
Yeah. Well, I run it 5 different ways. There's bear and ultra bear. I don't know which one of those you are. Neutral, bull, and ultra bull cases. And what's crazy about it is I showed it. There's a preview of the first 2 cases on the channel. The rest are just for Patreons over $10 a month if they sign up now, or $25 in the new year. But the idea is the 2 bottom estimates are on the channel. You should check them out. But even my ultra bear case still has production estimates higher than Wall Street, because Wall Street, they're just showing, Tesla's going to grow 20-ish% a year. And it's like, do you not know about the new factories? Because there's a couple new factories coming. So it's wild. So if you want to check it out on Patreon, you can check out the preview. I don't know, it's really interesting, and there's a long companion video that explains it all and shows where the numbers are coming from and talks about new models. It's fun. But as fun as that is, I like what you're doing on Patreon a little bit better. Can you tell me?
I can't.
Tell me what you're doing.
I'm going to tell you what we're going to do on Patreon. Before I get to that, I do want to point out my Tesla production numbers. Coincidentally, it's one more than each. The Fremont SNX, I had one more than you on that. I had one more on the 3s and the Ys in Fremont, and I had one more in Shanghai. I had 480,363. So my total was actually 3 above yours, which is amazing. So if they're over, obviously I was right.
Yeah, you're taking the Price is Right approach. That's very smart.
Hell yeah, that wins all the time. That's why that game got ruined.
Wins half the time. Well, in this case, it'll win half the time, but on the Price is Right, it's a lot better.
Yeah, it sure is. And there's no prize on here, which, well, there can be. I want to do a shout out to Salem for the super chat. I appreciate that. Salem says they're very excited for Lucid coming to Saudi Arabia. Yeah, we're going to be doing flyovers in Saudi Arabia also.
That's a terrible idea.
Yeah, that really is a horrible idea. But what we're looking to do is we're hoping to get some more support from our Lucid followers and expand the number of days. I've had numerous questions, numerous times. What can we do in order for you to fly some more? We put out Sunday night, maybe a little bit later than we should have. If we can get 10 new patrons before Monday at a certain time. I think it was 10 a.m. Pacific, that we'd fly Lucid on Monday. We didn't get that. We ended up getting it later in the day, but we were already back editing the video for Nikola. So what we're going to do is we're going to set goals for patrons. I think we're sitting at 33 right now, or I don't know what the number is, to be honest with you. But if we can get up, when we get up to 80 patrons, and you could go for $1 a month, you can go $5, and then there's higher levels. Anyone is acceptable. If we can get to 80, then we're going to start flying on Mondays. And then to follow that up, if we can get to 150 patrons, we're going to start flying on Thursdays. And when we get to that point, we can set another goal for a Tuesday flyover also. Tuesday being today would be the hardest day to do, so that's why we'd like to put it last as far as these goals. But if we can get some help from our Lucid followers, we'll get out there more, and we'll get some more pictures of the production cars so that you can see whether or not they're making their goals, or at least get a better idea. You can track the construction progress. This is really good stuff for investors to see what's going on at the site. So please come join us.
Elam did say you are welcome in Saudi anytime. And I wasn't saying that part is the bad idea. I just meant flying without authorization in a foreign country is generally frowned upon.
Yeah, it is. I haven't flown in a foreign country yet, but now that we have 2 drones, I might be taking a drone down to Mexico the next time I go and fly around a little bit there. And maybe I'll bring back some footage for you guys. Nothing's getting produced down there, though, except for the mangoes with the hot sauce on it. That's probably the only views we're going to get.
Yeah. Should we, let's see here, address some questions before we get on to the next topic?
Like JJ's question, why do you think Electric Viking is so hesitant to say Nikola is manufacturing in Arizona? Jason Roy showed the manufacturing certificate, and still Viking says assembling. You know,
I'm not familiar with Viking.
Oh, he's I believe his name is Eric, possibly. The Electric Viking. He's got a YouTube channel. He's got about 40 some odd thousand subs, and I mean, I like his videos. He talks about different things, and mostly enjoyable. But he did a hit piece on Nikola that earlier last week, and it was pretty disappointing because it was not based on facts. He said that they weren't making any trucks. He said they were assembling trucks in Coolidge, which is, you know, that's just a fine, it's just splitting hairs. They are assembling the trucks, but they are also building it. I mean, who cares? It doesn't matter. But he also said a lot of other things that just were had no basis in fact. So that was disappointing to see that, and because I had respected him as far as that goes. And Jason Royce had seen it, and he works at Nikola. He's one of the engineers there, and he put up a manufacturing certificate for the Nikola trays that were delivered to TTSI in Long Beach, and said, hey, you know, this is kind of really hurtful. I like the Electric Viking, and he had that to say when we're doing everything we can to get past the FUD, and he's going to just throw out more. So,
yeah, well, yeah, so the whole idea that them assembling vehicles is not building vehicles is a little dishonest, I would say. When Tesla was making the original Roadsters, I mean, those were gliders that were made by Lotus, and nobody said they weren't making cars. Well, I mean, some people did, but they were dishonest and and they have since lost their butts. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I wouldn't give that much of a second thought. I think that's very dishonest. But you know,
Sam Evans is his name. If you want to criticize somebody,
and you're going to have to resort to lies to do it, I would say that your criticism is completely hollow and worthless.
Yeah, I think he read one article and went off of that, and the article was just not fact-based at all. So it was disappointing. And his name is Sam Evans, by the way. Not Eric, whatever I made up.
Well, you said Viking, and so Eric just made sense.
It does. It just flows. Eric the Viking. Yeah.
Electric Eric.
Yeah. And Brian asked, did Sandy Munro walk through the Nikola factory? Yes, he did. He spent a couple of days there. and he only had good things to say. The only thing he didn't like was the fact that it had mirrors, which they can't do anything about. So.
Yet.
Yeah.
That's awaiting regulatory. The regulators are always far behind. Rashetsky also said the Mach-E is a solid EV. It's not Tesla, but it's good, better than any GM. Well, I mean,
there's only one GM.
That's definitely true.
Well, thank Mary. You got to thank Mary first.
Mary,
thanks for the bolt.
Led.
Yes,
you led. Okay, that's great. You got something you wanted to mention about the road noise situation?
Yeah. If you own or ever drive in an electric vehicle, you'll notice that the only thing you ever hear are the tires. And Goodyear is working on a different type of tire for Tesla and other EVs so that there will be less road noise. And I know when I drive my EV, I don't hear the tires because I have my radio on. So it's not a big concern, but I do find that it's interesting. But some of the other things that are important is that how the tires wear because of the extra weight that an EV is. And those tires have to be rated higher because tires do all have a weight rating on them. So a tire that works on one car, even if it's the same size, may not work on another. So they do have to produce more of these tires now. And I know my Tesla, surprisingly, has a PSI of 45 is the recommended amount of air, which normally in a car it's anywhere usually 32 to 35 on a regular sedan. Would you agree with that, Brian?
I have no idea.
Oh.
I have absolutely no idea about that. I've got a low tire pressure sensor that comes on, every 4 or 5 months. So I put some air in it and that's it.
Well, Brian just learned how to change a fluorescent light bulb this week. So maybe asking you about tire pressure was not the right question for you.
That's not true at all. You tell dirty lies. No, I just found out in case you've got an old dead fluorescent light system and the ballast isn't hot enough to kick it on anymore, you can just swap them out with LED bulbs in the same fluorescent shape and the ballast doesn't apply. So that's what I figured out this week.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, my wife's delighted. The kitchen is no longer a dungeon. I mean, it still is, but in different ways.
Yeah. But you actually have a very nice looking house, Brian.
It's all right.
From the outside, it looks good, but I don't know. Yeah,
it's a lot of work, is what it is.
I don't know if
it's an old house.
But it looks good from the outside. You could be a hoarder on the inside. I don't know.
You just
No,
with the obvious mega epic gap between an EV awakening by consumers and legacy car companies' refusal to make real change, what will be the fundamental shift coming? Asks Kirk. I think it's going to be. The fundamental shift is going to come down to just battery availability. Once the batteries are available, the cars will follow, and that's the entire shift right there, is my opinion. What do you think, Bear?
I agree. I definitely think that's what we're waiting on. So
yeah, and Kirk adds, Elon says car production is hard. It is. It's even EV production is a lot harder than certainly the analysts realized. And we know this because the legacy guys are struggling to get up to speed. That was not something they saw coming. Even the legacy makers didn't realize that this was going to be so complicated, but it is. It is.
It shouldn't be, though. I think that a lot of the problems making it complicated is the politics that you find in big business. That's just...
Yeah.
There's going to be half the people are going to be, no, we don't want to do this. We don't want to change. Just like they won't change their casting machines. But I read an article today where the Chinese EV manufacturers are now working with the same company that IDRA, I think it is.
Right.
Or
the parent group of IDRA.
The parent group. And they're going to be making castings to make cars quicker, easier, cheaper, more efficient, safer, as you pointed out to me earlier regarding that crash test on the Model Y. But the ICE legacy manufacturers do not want to change. Why? Oh, it's going to cost a lot of money. Well, no, it's going to save a lot of money. So,
we got a question on your channel from Jordan who wants to know, EV demand is insanely high. Oh, no, wait. Sorry, the one before.
Oldman.
What do you think about the Finnish guy who blew up his 7-year-old out-of-warranty Tesla because the battery replacement costs too much to repair?
Oh,
It's a publicity stunt, and I think it's a great one.
I didn't see
There
that.
are other options. I haven't watched it, but I read about it. There are other options. He could have done an aftermarket battery swap, which would have been a fraction of the price. But he chose not to.
Well,
and I believe it's a
Finnish.
publicity stunt.
Finnish, meaning he's from Finland. Is there an option in Finland to do that? I know you can here in the States, like Rich Rebuilds will do that for you. And I believe he's in Florida, right?
Well, considering the high EV adoption rate in the Nordic countries, I'd be very surprised if there isn't a robust network of aftermarket, providers. But I could be mistaken on that. So, I'm getting kind of annoyed here, Bear. Not only is my channel just lagging like a crazy bastard, but we haven't talked about my favorite company yet. Bear, what are we doing?
Your favorite company is GM?
No.
Tesla?
You're killing me here.
We've talked about Tesla.
JJ's going to blow me up if we don't get to it.
Oh, okay. Well, you skipped Tesla saving all that carbon footprint stuff.
Oh, I've got them out of order. Do you want to do that next?
Well, I'm looking at it.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Well, this one's yours.
Tesla owners in China drove 3.7 billion kilometers, reduced carbon emissions by 850,000 tons in less than a year. It's great. Now, we're talking 850 billion out of like a trillion, but it's a step in the right direction. And it's going to improve year after year. The number of miles across not just Tesla, but all the manufacturers is going to only increase, and that will help. That will help.
It's a drop in the bucket for right now, but it's gonna within 5 or 10 years, it's just gonna start reversing itself. So
it will, and it'll all add up. And EV production globally is just in the beginning of the S curve. It's gonna accelerate.
Brian, not you, Brian Rashevsky. Maybe we should call him Mr. Rashevsky to avoid the confusion.
I just call him Rashevsky. He mentioned it last time. I'm sticking with it.
All right. Well, he wants to know if Tesla's going to unveil the $25,000 car in 2022. I don't know. None of us know. Elon Musk probably doesn't even know. But Brian, are you buying any when they release them?
Of the 25? So I think it'd be too small for me. I need 6 seats, so my guess is no. My guess is no.
Not even as like an extra car or something?
My guess is no. We've got an extra car that we don't drive. So, no. Yeah. And let's see in the chat here. Just remember, China controls 90% of the lithium in the world. I don't think they control all the lithium. Chinese mining companies may control lithium around the world. But lithium is abundant, and there's plenty of it even in the U.S. Lithium's not your worry. It's the cobalt and the nickel and the other. Nickel's the real concern, and the LFP battery doesn't use nickel, and it's going to be in all the standard range vehicles shortly. So I'm not worried about that.
I'm not worried about it either, because I believe in that. And you just reminded me of something, because you're talking about areas that we were talking about this emissions, and then you talked about lithium being owned by only in China, which it's not. Wasn't it last week that we were talking about coal in Arizona?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Yeah. The numbers that were being thrown out at me were incorrect. They weren't even close to the truth. So natural gas is way higher than coal in Arizona. There are 4 coal-fired plants in Arizona. Most of them are in the south or in the east, borderline with New Mexico. Not really much of a use for them on the west side of Arizona because we have the hydroelectric, which doesn't really account for much, but it's mostly natural gas. I think I didn't bring the numbers with me, but I think it was like 18% of the power is supplied by coal in Arizona. And I know people were telling me the numbers are over 50%, and I just wasn't seeing it, and I looked it up, and boom, there it was. I was right.
Okay.
Okay, I just want to
So
throw
can
that
we
out there.
talk
About
about my dog?
your dog? No. Is JJ still here? Because we got
Oh,
we
who
got
knows?
we got
We got
JJ
to cover it.
got it.
Let's get
JJ's
going.
moment.
Here
So
we go.
for JJ, Nikola gets order for 10 Nikola tray with an option for up to 100. This is from the this was from Thompson Truck Centers, and they have ordered 10. They're going to be delivered in the first half of 2022, and then if they like them, they're going to order another 90. So they have the intention of getting another 90, and these are all for BEVs. So these are more orders coming in. Somebody had posted one on a comment on one of my videos, and I think they said there was like 350 orders already for the Nikola trays. And I'm not sure where the number is, to be completely honest with you guys. So if anybody knows, I know there's trackers for the Lucid, and people are tracking that to see how many cars are being delivered. There's Cybertruck trackers, all sorts of different trackers. But if anybody knows how many orders are actually officially in there, let us know. We'd be curious.
And I would say it kind of doesn't matter how many orders they have, because if they've got production, they'll have customers, period.
Mm-hmm.
There, especially there was, quite a dip last year in production levels of Class 8 towing vehicles.
Yes.
Meaning there is pent-up demand.
A shortage.
And if we're talking 1,000 or 3,000, the total market, that would still be only about 1% of the total market, based on 2018 or 19 numbers, whichever the last good year was. So that orders doesn't matter. The good news with this deal is that Nikola's not required to build a service center. They don't have to deal with the sales or any of that. They've got someone who's already established and well-known who's going to handle that part of it. And it's going to save time and money and just get the units out the door.
Yeah. So, I misspoke. The Thompson Truck Center is actually the dealer, and Henneth Transportation Systems is the purchaser of the vehicles. So this is something where they can sell it and then kind of wash their hands from it. I'm sure there's times where there'll be warranty work, but
sure, but
yeah.
But that's something that they pay to the service center, just like how Ford pays to, local dealer, whatever.
Yeah.
Tomlinson Ford and whatever. Yeah.
Okay. So we got
a big exciting one here coming up. What are you ready to just get right into it?
Yeah, let's get into it. The 22 of the.
Go ahead.
Who's doing this one?
Yeah, do it. I'm turning my heat back on because I am
freezing
my ears off, man.
Oh well, let's both do this one. We both have. There's a lot of different cars here. Some of them are.
Your mic is muted. How about now? Nope. Well, 22 of the most anticipated electric vehicles coming in 2022. They're still having trouble. I'm just going to chat my way through this. Technical difficulty. Boy, this week is having a lot of fun on the technical front. Here we sit on the precipice of 2022, and let's look at some of the cool stuff. Okay, the BMW here is looking like a thing. I don't know. I don't hate it. It's not for me, but I'm not their demographic.
Can you hear me, Brian?
Yeah, there you are.
Okay. I don't know if I had just slid the mic over a little bit and I hit the mute. There's something wrong with my mute where it just won't come off. That's what happened to me yesterday. Pretty embarrassing, but I handled it like a champ.
Fortunately, you had a co-host to.
Yeah, this time I do. Yesterday, I was giving out hand signals. I was trying to sign "I'll be right back," and it did not work. So, it is what it is. Okay, so yeah, you don't like the BMW, huh?
It's not for me. It's too weird, man. It looks like a concept, not a production vehicle. I don't know how many BMW buyers are going to be super jazzed about it.
I think there's two noticeable differences that I see. The blue lines trying to signify lightning or electricity, which look very out of place on that color car. And then the grille is different. I know that BMW is planning on redesigning their grille for the electric vehicles. Okay. It's, I don't know, kind of looks like some butt cheeks or something. But that's what they want, I guess.
By the way, a fun little joke. Paul said that my heater must have disabled your mic. That's I think that's how it works.
It could be. Oh, my top fell off my mic also when I had to turn it upside down, like spank it, so I could put the cord back in, because all I did was reset it. But anyway.
Cadillac Lyric, what do you think?
You know what? Not too bad.
I definitely don't hate it.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I am surprised that GM started with Cadillac as far as this, but then again, maybe not, because they're going to start with the most expensive cars. I still don't think Cadillac is what they used to be as far as what was considered an American luxury car. Maybe this one.
Well, they used to be the Cadillac of automobiles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm. MD Hofsty said that this BMW up here's got a butt on the front. I can't unsee that.
Yeah. Well, did my mic cut out? Because I just said that
Nope.
like 2 minutes ago.
Oh, then maybe it was.
Oh,
maybe it was.
I thought that was a good joke. I said it looks like they got a butt on it.
Maybe I wasn't.
Oh.
They're listing the canoe as upcoming.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's still happening.
I don't know if it is
happening?
either. It says here that it is, but really, that's going to be on the road. I look at that and I feel like I'm looking at something that is a miniature. That is not. Well, it's obviously got to be CGI, but it just doesn't look. It looks like if you put it next to another car, it would be about the size of the wheel, or maybe like a Matchbox car. I would like to.
It looks like a movie prop.
Yeah, it does not look real, but I would like to see something real. I think it'd be kind of cool. I think people would buy it just because it's unique. Whether or not it's actual functional, that's a whole nother thing. We all know how difficult it is from watching these startups. Some of them starting up and some of them just going down. So I'd like to see it, but I don't know if I'd get one. But actually, the price doesn't look too bad. $34,750 before taxes.
If real.
But that definitely falls under the very possible
I honestly
vaporware.
don't believe they could. I don't think they've got the scale or manufacturing prowess to actually get a car out anywhere close to that price with these specs.
Yeah, especially when they describes it as a lifestyle vehicle, as a loft on wheels. Does that mean it's going to be like almost like a little Class B or like a camper van type of thing? If it's a loft on wheels, because that's pretty much what a Class B is. A small Class B is just something that you can live in. But
it's more of a bang bus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of those.
Fisker Ocean.
I'm calling vaporware on this one.
Yeah, Fisker's got not a great reputation until it's real. For me, at least, it's not real.
Yeah.
I'd like it to be real. I am rooting for all the competitors. Please understand, limit your hate in the comments to the realm of factual stuff.
Please.
But Fisker's got a bit of a reputation for stretching the truth.
Hey, Brian, do you see what I have here?
Yes, I do.
That is a battery that can charge your car in 2 minutes, and it's got 500 miles of range in here. I'm putting it in my Fisker.
That's great. I believe you. What do we got next?
The F-150 Lightning. Now, this one's real.
I think I've heard of it. I
No.
feel like I've heard.
So Ford just announced this. This was like they announced it like a week ago, didn't they? Brand new?
Yes, that's right.
Well,
this will be exciting.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to sell like hotcakes. They will be production constrained because it takes a lot of batteries, and the factories are not done being built.
Yes, and their batteries are yesterday batteries because the Cybertruck's going to have tomorrow's batteries, and that's why you have the low range at the high amount of kilowatts that these vehicles have. So that's a little disappointing. Hopefully, you know what? I wonder if Tesla will ever license their batteries out.
Well, I, you reach a point where if they've already got all the production they can handle and have excess capacity and all that, I mean, I don't see why they're not licensing out the 2170s with the 4680s coming up. It seems like they could
Well,
maybe make some money.
they don't need capacity to license it out. They can just license it out for every 4680 that you put in a vehicle. You owe us $1 or whatever.
It's yeah.
And
Well, there would probably be about 6,000 cells in there. So yes,
there's going to be less cells because they take the batteries themselves are bigger. But I'm just throwing out $1. I know that it would be something cheaper than that, but it would make sense if they have the better technology, and if they really want other EV companies to succeed, to license out the technology, just like they've said they will license out FSD once it's finished.
Yeah.
So moving on.
Yeah.
I actually like the looks of the rear end of this car. I don't know what the front looks like because I didn't look, but I thought that was kind of nifty. But
yeah,
it's also a drawing. And
it's also got a blind spot big enough to hide a semi truck. That is a lot blind spot there.
It's not going to matter anymore once you have cameras. And look at the mirrors. Look at the mirrors on that thing.
It's true.
What do you see there?
Those are cameras. Those are definitely cameras.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Why don't we take a quick pause here and look at the comments? MD Hofsty saying, no bricks, please. Bram is saying, the Canoe looks like my 84 Toyota van LE. Those, is that one of those mid-engine kind of deals? Or I remember there was some pretty cool compact Toyotas.
What was it? A Toyota
van.
Toyota. I think I vaguely remember seeing those Toyota vans. They look like the GM ones, I think, but I don't know. The 80s were real fuzzy for me.
I think Ford and GM dealers may be what bankrupts them in the end. Charging customers $7,000 to $30,000 over MSRP after orders waited so long is going to really upset folks.
Yeah.
Yes, it will.
It sure will.
Yes, it will. And the real thing on that is people say, well, yeah, but Tesla increased their prices too. So when Tesla increases their prices, that means they've got more cash flow to build new factories. When Ford dealerships do it, it just means that the dealer himself now has enough money to get a new ski chalet. The salesman's got an extra $1,200 in his pocket, and Ford is one day closer to bankruptcy.
Brian, you're actually not even looking at that right, in my opinion. When Tesla increases their prices, you sign on the dotted line saying that I'm agreeing to this price, and that's it. Right. And not only that, if the Model 3 that we ordered last week, if they lower the price on that Model 3, they are going to give me the savings. How do I know that? Because when I ordered my Model Y, they dropped the price a week after that, and they changed my invoice, and it was $1,000 cheaper. So if the price does go down in the next 2 months before my new baby comes in, my new baby's going to be a little bit cheaper. Now, what the Ford dealerships are doing is what you're saying. This is not per agreement. This is them just raising the price so that they, would you say ski chalet?
Right.
Okay, yeah. It's definitely for the ski chalet or hookers and blow, whatever it is that they think they need an extra $30,000. Yeah, it's just pure scalping, and I hope they burn. That's all I have to say about that. I'm done.
Yeah. And so we've only got another 10 minutes here. Why don't we can kind of breeze through these real quick with quicker opinions. Guys, if you got questions, get them in. Yeah.
Hummer.
We will try to address them. The Hummer, I don't love it, but it's a Hummer. It's not for me. It's not aimed at me.
Yeah, it's aimed at me, but I don't think I'm going to go for that. Not at the $110K that it's priced at. I think the price is... They were just seeing what they can get, and they got it. So
yeah,
I think
we got what's that? The Ioniq 5?
Yeah, that's not a good picture of it, is it?
No, I've seen them on Out of Spec Motoring has a review of it.
Mm-hmm.
There's this triangle on the side that's actually, I think, a really neat design element. It's a better looking car than this gives credit for. And Hyundai's been doing some really good stuff in the last few years, so I think this will be decent.
I agree with that. I would look at one of these as a possible contender also.
Mm-hmm.
And the key EV6. Oh, I do like this one. This one,
I do.
As far as looks go.
It's a good shape. It's a good design. And again, Kia is a contender, an absolute contender already. Kia and Hyundai are as close to being one company as possible while still being two companies. Their headquarters are side by side on the same campus.
Yes, they're just
Lucid
like
Air
twins.
Pure. What's Lucid?
Lucid is like when you take too much cough medicine and you go to sleep and you have a dream, and it's real extreme, and it's like you're right there. That's lucidity.
Have you seen the reviews that show how this trunk opens?
I do not like the trunk. I'm not.
Well, it's functional. So it's not a hatch, it's a trunk, and it opens so low. So in terms of function, it's fantastic and quite unique.
Yeah, you know what?
I think that was not Muro's video that he covered that one.
I've opened up the trunk on a Lucid Air. I did see one, and I opened up the trunk, and it's like a clamshell. And to me, it was just a little awkward. And I don't know if it's just that I'm not used to it. It's not a showstopper. The showstopper is the $169,000 that it would require to be able to open up the clamshell on a regular basis. So, but still, nice car.
The thing that kills me is people complain about Tesla's panel gaps, even though most people can't spot them and most manufacturers have them. Look at this bumper where it meets the trunk. That's a panel irregularity you could spot from space, and no one complains because, let's be honest, it's not a big deal. It doesn't matter.
Well, this is the cheaper car, so the panel gaps are supposed to be there. This one's only $77,000.
Yes. Yes, you pay extra. And for the extra $100,000, we'll line up the panels.
Yes.
Oh, let's see if we got any.
Oh, we might as well just skip this. This is a silhouette of a car that doesn't even have a name. The Lotus Type 132. Bye. Sorry.
Bye.
You're not real.
Mazda MX-30. I don't know. It's fine.
Yeah, they like those suicide doors, don't they?
Well, it's a concept-y thing. Mazda, I think it's Mazda has some very small compliance EV out in California, and it is terrible. It is just awful. It's a joke. Pretty sure that's Mazda. Mercedes-Benz EQE. What do you think of the look of that?
I don't like the EQS on the outside. I think it's gorgeous on the inside, but there's something about the look of it on the outside, and I don't know. It's part of the rounding that just makes me go,
yeah, it's a bar of soap.
Yeah.
It's a shaped potato.
There's a lot of things you can call it, and some of them will get us flagged by the monetization police. So, I don't know.
What about Neo?
Neo, wow, they took like a Model 3 and they bred it with a Model S, and that's what you get. And I think it's a sharp-looking car. It's not coming to the U.S., though.
It's beautiful. And, yeah. And it's not in production, so we'll see.
Well, yeah.
Nissan Ariya. It's not for me.
Nah, there's nothing exciting about that at all.
No.
That could be
You wonder
anything.
if they're even trying.
No, that's funny. I don't think that they're trying. I think there's several legacy automakers that are not trying. And this is the Polestar 3.
You got a question from JJ real quick.
Oh, JJ.
Down to it.
Do you think Nikola will deliver the AB red fuel cells this week or nah? I'm not sure what the AB red fuel cells are. Oh, the Anheuser-Busch. Okay, sorry. I had to read into that. I heard months ago that those red fuel cell trucks were going to come out in December. What day is it? The 29th? 28th? I don't think it's going to. Yeah, I'm losing faith in that. Or maybe we're just going to get unlucky and miss it They're going to go on a Tuesday or a Thursday when we're not there. But we haven't seen any signs of it. We haven't seen any red panels or any hints of that. But any pictures on the inside have definitely been... they were told not to film those because I don't think that they wanted those things going out. But JJ, thank you for the super chat. But I'm going to say no. And I'd rather be wrong than right. So... And Brian says, I want those Chinese EVs to come to the U.S. to force our companies to do better.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would like that too. But at the same time, what happened with Toyota and Datsun coming to the U.S. and what did the automakers, the American automakers, they did nothing until they had to. And then they were forever behind. They need to step up and not wait to be forced to do it. But China is the new Japan as far as auto manufacturing goes. I'm not saying that their quality is that up to speed yet, but I definitely think that's a direction that we're looking at. Straight out of Sandy Munro's mouth, not mine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so real quick, Polestar 3 looks fine. Rivian R1S. We'll see when it comes out. Not a super fan of the shape of it.
You don't like that Land Rover look?
It doesn't look like a Land Rover to me.
From that angle, it kind of does to me. But,
Subaru Solterra. It's fine.
Yeah, for the people who like Subarus.
Yeah, but there are a lot of people who do. Tesla Cybertruck. Never heard of that one.
Oh, what's that one? Say again. I missed it. What was it?
Cybertronk, I think, is what it is.
That looks like my. It looks like my scale.
For anyone who's deeply frustrated with this stream, I'm going to be re-uploading the recorded version of it without all the errors and cutouts. So I apologize for that, but you know.
Yeah, but come watch on my channel where everything is perfect.
Perfect all the time.
All the time. I never forget to unmute my mic or switch my scenes like I did last week.
Yeah.
That was a computer malfunction.
So anyway, Xpeng, yeah, there's some good stuff in here. I do want to remind everyone that we are simulcasting on Bears Workshop and My Tesla Weekend. We're both on Twitter. We're both on Patreon. We're both super cool dudes. And I think we should end this on time because I am just dying here with the lag.
I'm doing great. So I'm going to stay on for another 3 hours. No. I got to go pick up the kids at school. Yeah, I know it's the holidays, but I dropped them off there about a week ago. So I got to go too.
Oh, yeah. That's efficient.
Yeah.
So, guys, if there's topics you want us to discuss next week, leave them in either of our comments, and we'll consider them at least.
Yes, and Mr. Rashevsky, we're just flying through these. We're not going to have a long talk about the Cybertruck, though mine is still on order. I'm number 857,231, and expected delivery of January of 2025. So, but yeah,
and on
exoskeleton.
Your channel, there was a question, I assume for me, about my thoughts on Neo. I don't have thoughts yet. Their products look beautiful, but until they're out and able to be validated and tested and loved, we just don't know.
Well, they are out, Brian, in China. They're selling them in China right now.
The 7s are out already?
No,
the 7s, 5s?
No, not those. But they do have a model. They're the ones who do the battery swap, where you drive over, you drop your load, and then they put another one in. Yeah,
the 5 and 7 are the ones to keep an eye on, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
I think those will definitely.
Those are their actual vehicles, the ones that will actually move the needle, I believe. But I have faith in them. I have confidence that they will make it and survive.
Neo. We're still talking about Neo, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now remember, Neo is also in danger of getting delisted from the Chinese stock market because of silly regulations and things like that, and that's why their stock price has taken a hit. If you are a fan of Neo, you may want to look at their price because it is roughly 25% lower than what it was a month and a half ago because of the delisting rumor. So, just want to throw that out there.
Oh, well, that's all I got. You can do the sign off, and I'll just sit here and look pretty.
Well, I can do the sign off. I'm not sure if you're up to your end of the bargain there. Okay. Well, hey, everyone. Thanks for being here. We are going to be back here next Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific time, as we are going to be every Tuesday until one of us dies. And please don't forget to check out Brian's Patreon channel, where he's going to be releasing those numbers to his Patreons at a higher level, and you can get him before the new year, and you get a cheaper rate than what you would if you wait till after the new year. And for my fans from Lucid, please keep in mind that we are still trying to get out there more often. We're looking for a little bit of help. So if you get an opportunity to take a look at our Patreon page, it's going to be in the description of probably both of our broadcasts. So help us get out there a little bit more for only $1 a month or more if you're feeling generous. And we would appreciate any type of contribution to helping us to offset the cost. So until next week, thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.